Hey, what's happening, everybody? How you doing today? I hope you're doing well. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and I'm your friendly neighborhood finance professor. I wanted to jump in and say hello. And before I get started, I hope you guys will help me do a quick mic check. I'm looking for the first person of the day to step in and say, "Hey, Dr. Boyce, I can hear you loud and clear. You're there. I can hear you and I can see you." That's always important. It's more important to hear me than it is to see me, but hey, hear me and seeing me is pretty cool. So let me see here. I'm gonna go in and let you guys know that here is a link actually to my SoundCloud channel where we actually record some of these podcasts. You can actually subscribe on the SoundCloud channel for free. I've given you guys the link in this post, and so okay. So since you guys have told me that you can see me and hear me, I guess that means that we're cooking with grease and gas and that healthy butter, not the butter that gives you diabetes, but we're cooking with whatever you're supposed to cook with when you're healthy. I grew up on the unhealthy food, so that's why it's taken time for me to adjust to a world in which where you're supposed to stay away from sugar and white bread and everything else. And it's so funny because every time they tell you about one thing you ain't supposed to eat, there's always something else. You get accustomed to not doing one thing, and then it's like, oh well, you're still doing this thing over here, and that's just as bad. And you're just like, oh my God, this is insane. Anyway, enough of my little petty issues. I got up today and I was thinking about a lot of stuff actually this election, as well as this event we just finished. We just finished an event here in Houston, one of my favorite cities on this planet, and the event involved basically some films that we wanted to show. We wanted to screen Hidden Colors, and sorry you guys, I'm moving my stuff around a little bit. We saw Hidden Colors 4, which is a hell of a movie. It's a hell of a movie. I mean, if you haven't seen Hidden Colors 4, then you're kind of missing out on what I think is the event of the decade. Tariq Nasheed, what he has done is absolutely positively legendary. No matter what other things he may do that one day I may disagree with him. That's what happens. That's why I don't keep that many friends. I end up pissing off my friends, and then they're not cool with me anymore, and next thing you know, I'm all by myself again. But it's okay, because my goal is to tell the truth. My goal is not really to make friends in this game. That's not what I'm here for. That's not what I don't think anybody should be here for. That I think we should all be here to do what we're supposed to do. Anyway, so Tariq has made this amazing film, and we decided to show it down here in Houston, and we did it over 3 days. We did a financial Juneteenth film and edutainment festival, and it was off the chain. A lot of people came out. We did a lot of lectures. I'm not big on just showing you a movie just so you can watch a movie. I'm bigger on actually taking that movie and saying, how do we put it into context? How do we put this into action? Black people get enough we watch enough movies. We have enough entertainment that's fed to us. My argument is that given that entertainment is often used as a tool for some sort of psychological, manipulation or adjustment or whatever you want to call it, why not adjust ourselves psychologically in a way that's going to be healthy? Why not use a viewing of Hidden Colors and Resurrecting Black Wall Street, which is the other movie we showed? Why not use these viewings as opportunities for us to grow and learn and come up with actionable steps? And we had great conversations. I sat with the people for hours and hours and hours. We were there 10 hours a day for 2 of the days, and 6 hours for the other day, 5 or 6 hours, something like that. And in a lot of the cases, we were able to have these community discussions that were incredibly powerful. Some of them, we streamed a little bit of that on a live stream. We're going to actually take this into some other cities. We're going to do this in Philadelphia, Atlanta, Detroit, and a few other places. I got to go back to New York. The love was so strong there, and I want to do 3 days in New York. I don't want to just do a couple of days in Brooklyn. Brooklyn was just too, the people there were just too passionate, and I really want to go back. Anyway, with that being said, before we get started, before we really jump into the conversation, I want to ask you a little favor. If you could please share this to your social media. I'd appreciate it. If you're on Facebook or Twitter or anything, if you could share this and recommend for other people to follow, that would be really cool. Also, if you haven't picked up a free copy of our book, well, my book actually, It Takes a Village to Raise the Bar, A New Paradigm for Black America. If you have not picked up your free copy, you can get that from drboycewatkins.net. That's drboycewatkins.net. So somebody type that URL in for me if you don't mind, so that other people can see it, because a lot of times we get the URLs wrong, and I don't want to spend time typing stuff in. I'd rather be talking to you. Now, here's what the issue is right now when you talk about this election. Here's what really gets to me. There are a few thoughts that came to my mind on this, so I'm going to try to lay them out in a way that's organized so that we're not going all over the place. When you look at this election, I was thinking about it, and I tend to think about things in generalities, and this is my academic training kicking in. Basically, I found that the best way to understand any process, any complicated process or simple process, is to sort of look at the general principles behind the dynamics of what's going on in front of you, and to also sort of connect that to something you understand. So, for example, when I explained cooperative economics to people, when we were talking about that all weekend at the film festival, I said cooperative economics is a lot like love. Love involves good love, involves reciprocity, it involves trust, it involves hard work. Everybody has to carry their weight, and you have to be committed to devoting your energy, whatever your energy is, your scarce and valuable resources, to that person that you are in that relationship with. Well, you can actually use a lot of analogies from love to talk about what it takes to build an economy. So the same thing is true when it comes to politics, right? So people would wonder, they say, well, why do you compare black people to the ultimate political side chicks? Like, what does that mean? And basically I said, well, if you look at a side chick, here's what a side chick does, right? In general, I'm generalizing here. I'm talking about the stereotype. So it's not so much true in every case. But here's what I've seen a lot. The side chick is the person from whom the man might expect complete, total, unconditional loyalty. Right? You deviate in any way, you cross me in any way, I'm gonna go off on you. Right? But the relationship is not reciprocal. Right? Neither one of them expect the relationship to be reciprocal. She doesn't expect him to love her and to be there for her the way he expects her to be there for him. Christmas comes, if he's got time to go see her on Christmas, that's cool, but she can't come to his house for Christmas because he's got to spend time with his family. Right? And here's the other thing I've seen with the side chick thing. Sometimes you'll have a side chick who will accept the double standard, maybe because of low self-esteem, or maybe she doesn't feel like she can do any better, or maybe she's just happy with with whatever the man's given her, which is whatever it is, right? Because sometimes you have a woman that maybe is happy, who says, look, I'd rather share a millionaire than to have a broke ass man all to myself. Right? Some women think that way, and I'm not dogging, I'm not dissing it at all. I mean, you make the decision that works best for you. Now here's the thing, though. You'll see that love and that loyalty will get to the point where she might even protect the man, right? Like, let's say that he's he's an important politician or whatever, and somebody's like, are you sleeping with the senator? And she's like, no, I'm not sleeping with him. He's a good man, and blah 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 blah. So she protects his reputation. He says, hey, please don't tell anybody, because this will ruin me, this will ruin my career, this will ruin my family, please don't. And she's like, okay, I won't, right? That's what a textbook loyal side chick does, right? Well, with the Democrats, here's what you see, and this is where the side chick analogy comes into play, and I want you to try to follow me on this. The black community does not have a reciprocal relationship with the Democratic Party. Most of us know that. Even black people who are determined, absolutely determined to support Hillary Clinton, cannot really come up with any reasonable explanation to explain exactly why Hillary is their best option, or even one of their best options. Most of the time, even the support that they give is sort of reluctant acquiescence to a force that they do not control, right? I mean, lesser of two evils, all that other nonsense, right? You got to vote for Hillary because if you don't, because we'd like to have better choices, but we don't have better choices, so we're gonna take what we can get because we are the side chick, and the side chick can't complain too much, right? Okay, so most black people are not happy with who they have to support in the Democratic Party. But we do it anyway because we don't feel like we can do any better. That's where the low self-esteem of the side chick kicks in. But then we also see the Democratic Party putting its energies toward taking care of people that they respect and value more. Again, the side chick sees the husband taking care of his wife and kids before her, so she gets a little something on the end, something better than what she thought she might have got otherwise. But she doesn't. She's never first place. She's never prioritized. She's always going to be the side chick. She'll never be the wife. She'll always be in the back of the room. She'll never be in the front. She'll always be the little dirty secret. She'll never be the person that he brings up in public because too many people would judge him for being next to the side chick. Right? And so Hillary Clinton catering to all these racist white people out here in America who look down on black people, who think y'all nothing but a worthless pack of niggas. She's catering to those people by basically kind of saying, yeah, these people are here, but I'm not really that close to them unless it's convenient for me. Right? And here's the third piece of that, right? This is where the protection part comes into play. When you say, well, I don't really want to vote for Hillary Clinton. I really don't want to support the Democrats because they ain't really doing nothing. Hillary Clinton's husband sent all these black men to prison. I can't support that. All right, they put us at the bottom of the priority list. We had a black president who was a Democrat for 8 years, and if you look at most statistical indicators, our condition really didn't improve as a result of that. We were actually better under Bush than we were under Obama, according to a lot of statistics. This ain't me talking. These are the stats. Go read Dr. Julianne Malveau's book, Are We Better Off? Go look at some of the work that Tavis Smiley did on this. Now, Tavis don't like President Obama. I don't even like Tavis that much, but I'm going to tell you, go look at what Tavis had to say. Tavis has some very good points on this. Roland Martin brings up very good points on this. Digging back deeper, the protection part comes into play because we are then told, well, if you don't vote for Hillary, that's a vote for Trump. And we know that Donald Trump is a racist and he's the devil and he's going to bring back slavery. He's going to come through your neighborhood. He's going to murder all of y'all and rape your mama. That's pretty much, that's what sort of happened. We've sort of turned Donald Trump into this devil that we fear so much that we will vote for anybody. We will vote for our rapist in order to keep Donald Trump out of office, right? Hillary Clinton, whose husband led one of the greatest genocidal campaigns against black people in all of history with his incarceration bills that he helped support in the 1990s, where we were being called super predators, where our babies were being put in prisons with grown men being beaten and raped as a result of this, when black children were being called super predators and being sent to prison in droves. That was a genocidal campaign. The numbers of black men and fathers and brothers and husbands, etc., that were sent to prison under the administration of Hillary's husband has led to literally the whole black community literally being set back at least 20 or 30 years. But you're going to support that person because you are so afraid that Donald Trump will get into office that you'll vote for anybody. Also, as the political side chick, your job is to protect your master, to protect the person that's giving you the best that you think you deserve, and so you protect them by voting for them in order to keep Donald Trump out of office. You protect the Democrats from the Republicans. Without your vote, they can't win. Without your support, they won't win nothing. So I think the side chick analogy applies. You can't prove to me, I don't care if you support Hillary or not, you cannot prove to me that she nor her party puts black people in the same light or the same significance or at the same priority level as they put gay people, or as they put women's groups or whatever, or feminist groups, whatever, all this other stuff. The way they talk to maybe the labor unions and the other people, the way they cater to white folks, they don't cater to you the same way because they take your vote for granted. You know why? Because we're politically stupid. We are politically stupid. I'm not saying you, I'm saying we as a community are politically stupid and immature, and they know this. You ought to hear, you really need to go listen one day to how these white folks talk about y'all when y'all ain't around. How they talk about how to get the black vote. It's not a conversation of respect. It's not one that says, well, these African Americans are very politically intelligent. We really have to earn their votes. You really have to come with something of substance because they're really gonna blah 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 blah. No, they're like, oh no, let's just take a picture on the cover of Ebony magazine and make a donation to the NAACP and show up to black churches and sing with the choir and bring buckets of chicken, and these niggas will do anything we tell them to do. And then we gotta scare them. We gotta talk about your ancestors died in Selma for you to have the right to vote, and that if you don't vote for us, then Donald Trump is going to get elected, and we're the only ones that can protect you. We're the only shield between you and Donald Trump, who is going to reinstitute slavery and kill all of y'all. That's what they do. In fact, I remember Vice President Joe Biden made some sort of joke or reference to the idea of Republicans bringing slavery back into effect. They do that because they know what your triggers are. They know what you're scared of. And really everything that they do to you is identical to what a pimp does to a prostitute. That's exactly what a pimp does to a hoe. A pimp says, girl, you might not like it here, but I'm all you got. I protect you. I put clothes on your back. I take good care of you. What you complaining about? Without me, you be out here in the street. Don't nobody love you but me. I'm the only one who's there for you. That's what a pimp does. Seriously, if you understand pimping, then you understand politics. Politics ain't nothing but pimping. Psychological manipulation in order to get somebody to go out and engage in some activity that is to your economic benefit. Politics is pimping. If you know pimping, you understand what the Democrats have been doing to black people for 60, 70, 80 years, however long we've been voting Democrat, right? So, again, look, here's my thing. I'm not going to sit here and tell y'all what to do. I'm just going to say this. I've been seeing some stuff that's really bothering me. It's one thing if you want to go jump out there and vote for Hillary, go jump in front of a train for her, go, kill for her, start the revolution in the name of Hillary Clinton. I mean, whatever you want to do, I'm not going to judge you. I'm not telling you that you're stupid or crazy. I got friends that support Hillary. I got friends that support Trump, actually, and I respect them all. I like to hear, like, what's your point of view? Give me some good reasons to believe, what you're saying. Maybe you can change my opinion. I can absolutely positively open my mind to what you're saying here. Now, somebody's saying Joe Madison would have hung up on me already. That's so funny you bring that up. That's funny you bring up Joe Madison, because I actually have a radio story I want to tell y'all. Now, before I jump into that, I have to stop and mention our sponsor. Our sponsor on these podcasts is GreatBlackSpeakers.com. GreatBlackSpeakers.com is the largest black-owned speakers bureau in the country. So if you're looking to book a speaker or become a professional speaker, go to GreatBlackSpeakers.com. So I want to make sure I mention our sponsor, because they're helping us pay the bills. Also, if you could share this to your social media, I would appreciate it. If you want a free copy of my book, It Takes a Village to Raise the Bar, go to drboycewatkins.net. Just sign up at drboycewatkins.net. You can get a free e-copy. Also, if you want to buy Hidden Colors 4, which I think is one of the great movies of all time, you can go to, we actually are one of the distributors for Hidden Colors, so you can go to hiddencolorsbundlepack.com, hiddencolorsbundlepack.com, and it's a bundle pack because it comes with a free course in the Black Business School, as well as a free lecture from Tariq Nasheed where he talks about how he broke down his business, as well as e-copies of 4 of my books. 4 really good books that you're going to love, and I actually have another book coming out pretty soon. I'll tell you guys about that eventually. All right, so if you've taken the time to share it to your social media, now let's get started. Okay, so 5, 4, 3, 2, go. All right. So here's what I wanted to tell you. The Joe Madison point that somebody made on Twitter made me think about this. Let me tell you about how gangster Hillary Clinton is. Gangster in a bad way. I'm talking about thuggish. And I use the term voter jacking because it makes me think about hijacking or carjacking, because basically that's what they do. They voter jack black people. They jack you because they scare you into voting for them. They lie to you. They manipulate you, and they pretty much guilt trip you into giving them your support. They don't earn your vote. They just pretty much tell you that if you don't give them the vote, then you're gonna basically be punished for that, right? That's voter jacking to me. That's the term I came up with. Use that hashtag if you want to. I'd love to see the hashtag used in other places, because I think that we need to talk about voter jacking. That needs to be a term. That needs to be a thing. Anyway. Here's what that Joe Madison point brought back to me, because I did an interview with Joe Madison in D.C. or Baltimore when I was out there, and I don't know I think the brother has an issue with me because he kept saying my name wrong. He kept saying Dr. Boykins or Dr. Bilkins or something like that. He kept Boyd Watkins. He kept getting my name wrong, and callers would call in and say, "Hey, Dr. Watkins," and then literally right afterward he would say, "Okay, Dr. Wilkins." It was the funniest thing. So I don't know what's up with Joe Madison. Maybe, but he had asked me to be on the show a lot, and I never had time, so maybe he held a grudge against that. Because I don't think I know he's a smart guy, and I know he couldn't have got my name wrong that many times. Most good radio show hosts get the name right because they write it down. But anyway, here's the problem. When you said Joe Madison would have hung up on me by now, there are a lot of black radio show hosts who work for corporate media. This ain't corporate media. This is media that's paid for by us. This is for us, by us. This is straight FUBU, 100% FUBU. This ain't 35% black owned, 62% black owned. This is 100% black owned, financed by us. And the reason we remain self-financed is because we can do things like this. Roland Martin over at TV1, he can't say whatever he wants. Roland says a lot. Roland does a lot of good work. But there's certain things Roland cannot say on the air because he has a boss. We don't have bosses here. You're talking to the boss right now. The reason that this is important is because much of corporate media that gets into the black community pretty much has a mandate that you're going to back Hillary Clinton. Y'all little niggas are going to back Hillary Clinton, and you're not. There's certain things you will not say on the air. I want y'all to go Google this. Somebody mentioned this, and I need to go make sure I get a perfect reference. In fact, I'm going to reach out to him and make sure it's true. Somebody mentioned to me that Killer Mike was told when he went on the Ricky Smiley show that he was not to mention the name Bernie Sanders on the air at all, because mentioning Bernie Sanders is a threat to Hillary Clinton. So Bernie Sanders' name was not to be mentioned at all on the air, and if he mentioned Bernie Sanders' name on the air, they were not going to air that interview. So basically what is happening here, that is propaganda. That is somebody controlling the message that the black community receives. They're like, we going to control these niggas' minds so that they do exactly what we tell them to do. That's what that is. And anybody who ever tries to control your mind is not your friend. Now, I'm going to give you my opinion. I'm going to support my points. I'm going to defend my points. I feel comfortable doing that because as a scholar, I feel like I can think my way through a lot of things. I don't feel intimidated by having to defend my point of view. I also am not intimidated by the idea that you might disagree with me. I'm not offended by that. But there are a lot of people who aren't that bright, who literally will lean on coercion to get you to do what they want you to do. They will coerce you. They're like, why convince you when I can just mind fuck you? Why convince you when I can intimidate you? Why convince you when I can just scare the hell out of you and get you to do what I want you to do? Why convince you when I can simply manage the information that you receive? When I can treat you like a political child? A political child to me is somebody who, where your mama does like a little 7-year-old where you don't want your child to even see certain things because you want them to see the world in a certain way. So you kind of control their environment. You control what's said in front of them. You keep them away from certain foods, keep them away from certain people, keep them away from certain influence, keep them away from certain ideas. You do that with your child because that's your right. That's what you're supposed to do. That's what they call paternalism. The Democrats are politically paternalistic toward the black community. You are a political child because in their minds you are too politically immature to make a decision for yourself. So one of the greatest threats that I could have, that I could basically commit against the Democratic establishment, is to go to black people and simply say, I'm not going to tell y'all what to do. Make your own decision. Get the information. Choose for yourself. Isn't that what democracy is supposed to be? Freedom of thought. People do what they want. That's what I want you to do. I'm okay with that. I still will get cussed out for doing that. I get cussed out because people are like, no. That's not how we do things. That's not how you control the black community. You need to go out here and tell these dumb niggas exactly what they need to do because they don't know any better. Even my man Michael Eric Dyson, I love this brother, but it just really bothered me when he had that debate with Eddie Glaude recently. And Dyson was like, I think Glaude proposed a brilliant idea. I think Eddie Glaude is a good brother. I like this brother. And his idea was actually less extreme than mine. My extreme is, look, if you don't want to vote, it's okay to walk away from the election, because it's not about winning the next election. It's about what you get in the next 10 elections. But I guarantee you, if black people walked away from the polls and said, look, we're going to let the Republicans have it. We're not going to be there. Watch how quickly the Democrats start responding to your needs. Watch how relevant you suddenly become in the next election when they realize they can't win without you. So you might lose something in the next 4 years, but you'll gain something for the next 40 years. Long-term thinking is the best strategy. Sometimes, what do they call it? The word I'm looking for, where you vote, abstention. Abstaining from a vote is a vote, especially if you abstain loudly. You say, no, I'm not participating. Y'all playing the game unfair. I'm gonna take my ball and I'm gonna go home. See how many basketball games y'all can play when I take my ball and go home. And then guess what? They'll be asking you to come back. They'll suddenly realize your value. It happens all the time. Look in sports. I remember when anybody remember Emmitt Smith at the Dallas Cowboys and how great he was as a running back? And so back in the early 90s, and it was so funny because there was a time where Emmitt Smith was having a contract negotiation challenge with the Cowboys. Jerry Jones, the owner of the Cowboys, didn't want to pay Emmitt what he was worth. So Emmitt said, okay, you know what? I don't want to see the team go down, but I'm going to sit out about 4 games. Emmitt sat out. Cowboys lost. Suddenly they were ready to give him whatever he wanted. Why? Well, because he abstained. Somebody could have said, well, no, you're not being loyal to the team. If you sit out on the sidelines, that's a vote for the other team. That's a vote for the Buffalo Bills if you don't get on the field. No, he sacrificed the first 2 or 3 games, 3 or 4 games, so they could win all the other games, so that he could win, so he could have a proper positioning in the negotiation. The Cowboys still went on to win the Super Bowl that year or something like that. I know they had a great season. At that time, they really couldn't lose without Emmitt Smith. So what I'm just generally saying is that, you got to be strategic. I mean, part of political maturity means thinking things through, and most importantly, not letting other people think for you. These damn Democrats, I mean, oh my God, I don't know who annoys me more, the Democrats or the Republicans. I really don't know. So I don't know. I'm gonna go check. I got Killer Mike's number in my phone somewhere. I'm gonna text this brother. I'm gonna ask him if that's really, because somebody mentioned that to me. They said, well, Killer Mike said that Ricky Smiley told him that he couldn't mention Bernie Sanders' name on the air, and I hope that's not true. I really hope that's not true, because if it is true, then that's a cardinal sin. That is absolutely atrocious, because what they're doing is they're taking black public figures and they're controlling what they say. You cannot allow anybody to control what your leaders are saying. They've been doing that for the longest time. Most of your black leaders, most of your so-called leaders and public figures have been bought out and controlled and intimidated and blackmailed and everything else. And that's why they can't represent you properly, because they out here cooning for somebody who's paying the bills. I mean, it's crazy to me. It's sad. It's ridiculous. So we don't have to live that way. This is a new day. Black people can be free. Massa ain't coming to whoop you if you get out of line. You can actually make decisions for yourself. You can build for yourself. Look, I'm going to tell you what's going to make the black community strong again, because we're going to get there. We're getting there. I see so much evidence that we are literally rising up in a way that has not been seen in 40 or 50 years. I am incredibly optimistic about our future, and I'm not optimistic because we're going to get the right Democrat into the White House. I don't care. What's going to make us strong is working together. What's going to make us strong is building wealth in our families. What's going to make us strong is educating our own children. What's going to make us strong is not just making wealthy and educated Negroes. We got enough of those. What's going to make us strong is having wealthy, educated black people who care about other black people. That's what's going to make us strong. Having a bunch of wealthy and powerful and famous coons out here that are just doing stupid stuff, that's not going to really help us at all. Before I move on, I want to mention our sponsor again. The sponsor of this podcast is greatblackspeakers.com. Write that URL down, greatblackspeakers.com. They represent all different kinds of African American speakers, everybody from, Hill Harper. I know I'm actually one of the speakers with the Bureau as well. Hill Harper, Jasmine Guy. I'm looking at their website in terms of who they represent. They're off the chain. They're really good. They represent Hill Harper, Jasmine Guy, Donna Brazil, Damon John, the rapper Common, Elisa Shabazz, the daughter of Malcolm X. I'm looking at some of the people on here, the rapper D1, just a lot of really cool people. I know they booked Idris Elba, people like that. And so if you're looking to either book a speaker or become a speaker, go check out greatblackspeakers.com. I think that it's if you got something going on, I think that they'll consider adding you to the roster. I see my man Mark Lamar Hill up here. I can't stand half of what he says. He makes me mad 90% of the time. But I love Mark, actually. I'm never going to stop having appreciation for who he is and his intellect, even if everything he said is dead wrong and crazy and halfway stupid. I'm being silly. Anyway, the other thing I want to mention is we actually do have a really cool class in the Black Business School that you may want to look into if you're interested in learning goal setting, time management, overcoming obstacles, etc. I have a great class that I personally teach called Black Keys to Greatness. You can go to blackkeystogreatness.com. The first month is absolutely free, so you can sign up for free and try it out, see if you like it. You can go to blackkeystogreatness.com. And if you actually want to get financial advice, a lot of people have a lot of financial questions about their business or how they're going to build wealth, how they're going to start a a business, etc. I have a great financial coaching program actually that you can check out called Ask Dr. Boyce. You can go to askdrboyce.com. That's askdrboyce.com. You sign up. Again, the first month is free. And what happens is you ask your question, you submit your question, I answer your question directly on video within 10 days. So I get on video and I say, okay, Tom, here's what I think you should do about XYZ. So, and the best part about it too is that you have access to the answers to all the questions that everybody else has asked. So there's literally dozens and dozens of answers already in there. So there's a whole lot of stuff in there that can help you in your journey to understanding how wealth building works and all that stuff. Now let's get back to politics. Now, if you just chimed in, I've been talking about black people and explaining how we pretty much are the ultimate political side chicks. The analogy is very simple. The analogy is that a side chick is a person from whom you expect extreme loyalty, but you don't give any loyalty back. The side chick is a person who will go out of their way to protect you, even though you won't go out of your way to protect them. All these Democrats are expecting you to protect them from the Republicans, right? They're saying, look, if you don't get us elected, the Republicans are going to get into office and it's going to be hell for everybody. Mostly they're not thinking about how it's really going to hurt you. They're really thinking about how it's going to hurt them, how it's going to take them out of power. So effectively, that's a type of manipulation. And so ultimately, I don't think that you owe anybody protection if they're not willing to protect you. Because my question would be, when black men are getting shot in the streets, how quick are the Democrats to protect you? Right? When your children are dying, when your children are not being properly educated because the schools are so bad, when you can't get a job, how quick are the Democrats there to protect you? I mean, they'll tell you in a minute, we need your protection to keep Donald Trump out of office because Donald Trump's going to bring back slavery and he's going to kill everybody. Okay, fine. Okay, cool. You'll go protect them. But how quick are they to protect you? That's the $1 million question. So I would just say that reciprocity is very important. If somebody's not giving you as much as you're giving them, you really shouldn't be fucking with them. Period. That's in love. That's in politics. That's in business. That's in everything. Reciprocity has to be the rule of the day, and reciprocity comes with self-esteem. If your self-esteem is high, then you know that you deserve it. You say, wait, no, I deserve this. My community deserves this. I love myself. I love black people because they look like me. So because I love my community, you got to represent for my community, or I can't give you my best if you don't represent my interests. Period. That's reciprocity. Now, I saw somebody mention they saw me on Music Moguls the other day on BET. Dame Dash told me about that. I think they featured the class that Dame and I teach. It's at intelligentbossmoves.com. And basically, we teach business and all different kinds of stuff. It's a cool class, actually. He talks about how he built Rockefeller Records and the stuff with Jay-Z and the stuff he did with Kanye and everything else. And I come in as a business school professor from my angle. And it's pretty unique. It's unlike anything you'll ever find at any university. And the cost is very low, very, very low compared to what you spend going to college learning from professors who have only studied a book most of the time. If you're interested, you can go to intelligentbossmoves.com. The first month of that class is actually free, and you can try it out. So Dame, it looks like Dame's doing pretty well with Music Moguls. Also, they featured the movie Damon and I have coming out next month called Too Honorable. Murder Mook is in. If you follow battle rap, you know how great Murder Mook is. He's actually literally the undisputed world champion in battle rap right now. He just beat Loaded Lux, which was a really big deal in the world of battle rap. And Cameron's in it, and a lot of people are in it. So it's an interesting urban flick. But we got a lot of movies coming out. We have 6 movies coming out this year, and next year we're going to try to put out 15. And basically, we're trying to build and develop. We're looking into buying land. We're going to buy hundreds of acres of land, and on this land, we're going to put a school, a film studio, and a black business incubator. Everything will be black, 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 black. The goal is to be able to educate children and adults in this space, to bring in to make powerful films, and to hire lots and lots of black filmmakers and writers and directors and producers and actors and actresses and everything in between. And then also with the incubator, the goal is to fund black businesses. So ultimately, we'll be running crowdfunding campaigns to this effect, but they won't be built on charity. We won't reach out and say, give us money and we'll give you nothing back. Every time you make a donation, we're going to give you something, usually in the form of education or other sorts of resources and access that will make it a reciprocal relationship. It won't just be, hey Boyce, we're going to give you money and hope that you do something good with it. It'll be, hey Boyce, we'll give you money, you're giving us something back. Also, there's transparency. So I'm actually putting together a board. I have a board of educational advisors, so that when we build the school, it's going to be a school that's run by experts. I'm not the expert who it should be running a school per se. There are things I can do well. There's some things I can't do well, but I have plenty of educational experts in our network that would be very good on this board. Also, when it comes to filmmaking, same thing. The best way to build structure and to build organizations and institutions in the black community comes down to being good at delegating and reaching out and connecting with people that strengthen what you already bring to the table. So I bring a lot of good things to the table, but I can't do everything. And so what we're going to need your help for is maybe with some funding and some support. So when we put these movies out, if you could buy them and add them to your library, we'll try to be responsive to what you want to see and create what you want to see come into existence. So it's going to be a thing. It's going to be a thing. Anyway, so let's jump back into politics. Let's jump into politics. As I move on, take 1 second to share this to your social media if you don't mind. I would truly appreciate it. Maybe just hit the share button, put it on your Facebook page or your Twitter account, and also if you haven't gone to drboycewatkins.net, you can get a free e-copy of my book, It Takes a Village to Raise the Bar. Go to drboycewatkins.net. Now, what I want to talk about here is something that I read not too long ago. Somebody mentioned this to me, and I hope it's not as bad as people made it sound. There's a guy in Louisville, Kentucky, by the name of Devon Holt, and I think he's a deacon at a church at St. Stephen's Church, which is my favorite church in Kentucky. It's the largest mega church in the state of Kentucky. Now, let me tell you what happened. This is real interesting. So, the church is headed by a guy that I respect a lot by the name of Kevin Cosby. Kevin is a guy who I just consider to be one of the most intelligent human beings I've ever met, one of the greatest leaders I've ever met. He actually got the members of his church to support him as he went to actually go purchase an HBCU. I thought that was amazing, absolutely fascinating. Kevin is a person that I really admire in that way. Now, here's the thing, though, that's interesting. So Kevin supports Hillary Clinton for the White House, which is fine. I'm not going to knock people who vote for Hillary Clinton. I'm just going to make sure I give that other point of view so that people can make their own decision. So he's one of my friends that supports Hillary. I might make fun of him for it, but I'm fine with that. I'm not gonna tell him that he's stupid for doing that. But here's the interesting part. So Devon Holt, though, he's got another perspective. His perspective is, when black people ain't getting nothing from the Democrats or the Republicans, we're being forced into making a decision that we're not comfortable with. I'm not going to do that. So he said, I'm not going to vote in this election. He didn't say don't ever vote. He just said in this particular election, I'm choosing not to participate because you're not going to force me to make a bad choice. Just because you've given me two options that I can choose from, I don't have to pick either one. So from what I have heard, now again, I'm going to talk to some people to try to find out more. But from what I've heard, Devon has been getting hell from people in the church. People have been attacking him, calling him all kinds of names, saying that he's cooning, he's supporting Donald Trump, he's doing this, and this, and that really bothers me, because one of the things I don't enjoy seeing is when you have kind of this interesting mob mentality in the black community where people are not even allowed to express dissenting points of view. I think that when you look at a guy like him, and I know this brother, I've known him for a while, he's really given a lot to the people in that church. And it's repulsive to me that there would be anybody who would allow something like his decision not to support Hillary Clinton to cause them to want to, put him out of the church and treat him like shit. I think that's wrong. I think that's absolutely wrong. And I think anybody who's doing that should be ashamed of themselves. One of the things I don't think we have room for is some sort of, demagoguery or any kind of dictatorship. I don't want to be a dictator over anybody. At best, I might be an influencer, but I'm not trying to dictate what anybody does, and I don't think anybody else should do that. So I would just say to Devon, look, if that's your position, brother, stick to your guns. Stick to your damn guns. And these so-called Christians run up in here threatening you and giving you death threats and calling you names and attacking you. There's nothing about that reflects Christianity in any way. That's not Christian-like behavior. Aren't you supposed to love your enemies? Aren't you supposed to love people who disagree with you? Whatever. So anyway, at the end of the day, I just think that this idea that somehow we're gonna go just ride for Hillary, till the wheels fall off, that doesn't make any sense to me. I understand if you're going to vote for her because you feel that it's the politically pragmatic approach to this situation because somehow you have a fear of Trump, or maybe Hillary is. Maybe you feel that you're going to benefit from a Hillary presidency. I don't know. but a lot of mainstream black people will benefit. They're going to be black elites in power positions who will benefit from having certain access to the White House with a Hillary Clinton in office. Hillary Clinton keeps Negroes close to her. Tavis Smiley, the guy that I mentioned earlier, I haven't really heard Tavis say much about Hillary, but I do recall Tavis having a lot of access to Hillary Clinton during the Obama presidency, and I wouldn't be surprised if that translated into something later on. In fact, I'm willing to bet you, and now that I think about it, I think it's very strange that I haven't heard Tavis's name mentioned in reference to Hillary much in the media. But let me see here, because I would be stunned if he's not out here stumping for Hillary and pushing hard for Hillary. Let's see here. I see that it looks like she did an interview with Tavis. I know she used to go to Tavis's State of the Black, what was it, State of the Black Union, State of Black America, whatever it was. I don't see it here, so I think it would be very interesting to see. Oh, wait. Tavis Smiley blasts political sycophants for scapegoating Black Lives Matter. Okay, so he didn't say anything about Hillary. That's so interesting. I'll be curious. I'd be real curious to see what Tavis's position ends up becoming, because if Tavis hasn't said anything, it makes me wonder if something's going on behind the scenes, or if he's waiting, if he needs them to do something first before he gives an endorsement. I mean, honestly, that's kind of what happens a lot of times. You have a lot of backroom conversation where people will say, okay, I influence the black community, and you want me to use my influence to support you. And if that's the case, then you have to do this for me before I'll do that for you. It's a quid pro quo, and sometimes it's selfish, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes people may say, I'll support you if you'll do this for the community. But then some people will say, I'll support you if you do this for me. That's what I would call the Al Sharptonization of politics. When when somebody says, look, just write me a check for a certain amount of money and I'll give you my endorsement. Even if the majority of black people don't like it. A lot of your pastors get bought this way too. And again, I'm not even throwing Kevin Cosby in that pile. I have no idea of what conversation Kevin and Hillary had, so I'm not talking about him. But I'm saying I've seen a lot of pastors who literally will have an entire congregation where the majority of the congregation doesn't agree with their decision, but they'll still make an endorsement that was built primarily on some sort of individual or selfish motive, and I don't get that. I'm not a fan of that. But then again, maybe they have a bigger picture in mind, and I'm not capable of seeing it. I don't know. So I'm not dissing it one way or the other. It is what it is. If you want to follow anything that we do online, if you want to follow my podcast on SoundCloud, I will give you guys the link to the SoundCloud. If you just type in Boyce Watkins and SoundCloud into Google, you can actually find the link there. It pops up real easily. Also, for those of you who are on the Facebook page, I'm actually going to post this link in here. Feel free to join that if you are riding to work and you want something you can listen to, because you shouldn't be watching videos while you're driving. I met some brothers at the event, and some sisters too, who were saying that they listen to me every day. And that's cool, but you can't drive and watch a video. I think, well, I guess you could listen to it, but still, I want you to be safe. So there's the podcast. Also, if you actually want to follow via text message, we actually send stuff out via text message. You can actually text the word Boyce to 31996. So text the word Boyce, just my name, Boyce, to 31996. And you will get text messages from us on, alerts or interesting information, stuff like that. And also, of course, you can get the free ebook at drboycewatkins.net. That's drboycewatkins.net. And if you want to order Hidden Colors 4 in the bundle pack, you can go to hiddencolorsbundlepack.com. That's hiddencolorsbundlepack.com. You get the film as well as a free class in the Black Business School, a lecture from Tariq Nasheed, an exclusive lecture you're not going to find anywhere else, where he talks about how he built his business. That's the secret sauce. That's the part that you want from a Tariq Nasheed. It's not just a movie. You want to know, hey, okay, don't just give me fish. Teach me how to fish. Teach me how to fish. And Tariq teaches people how to fish. That's why I respect him. That's why I like doing business with the brother. And also in that bundle pack, you get e-copies of 4 of my books. So I throw some stuff in there. And we've got some movies coming out next month. 2 honorables coming out. The movie I did with Damon Dash, and Kanye West is the other executive producer on the film. Kanye gave us all the music for the film. Dame actually shot the film. I'm actually providing a lot of other support, digital support. I'm actually in the film as well, but my voice is there. It's a voiceover thing. It's not an actual appearance by me. And what else is new? I also decided that I want to do more of these film festivals in different cities. We did it in Houston, the Financial Juneteenth Film and Entertainment Festival, and it was off the chain. It was amazing. And my thinking was that I want to try to do this in other cities. So just literally have 3 days. Because the best part about it was I got a chance to really sit with the people and talk. And we talked for hours. And we talked out issues, made plans, set things up. There was a brother there who was starting a credit union in Houston. Brother Derek Muhammad came through talking about how he got the local rappers, to come to go to a black owned bank. I think it's called Unity Bank, Unity National Bank, something like that, and support that bank. I got a call. I talked to Willie D, my friend who's from the Ghetto Boys, who was actually talking about conversations he had with the mayor. The mayor's name is Sylvester something, and they talked to the mayor, and he got in the mayor's face and said, you don't have the power to stop the police department. They go running up in here killing us, and you don't even have the ability to stop that. So I talked to Willie D about it. There was a sister there named Stephanie who had a great school there, her school actually is accredited, and she talked about us establishing a black national accrediting body where we can accredit our own institutions instead of hoping that somebody else does it. So I actually have our educational advisors reaching out to Stephanie to talk about plans on creating a national black accrediting body. So ultimately, I think these are the things we need to do to build, and that's what I'm excited about. Now, Lewis the Recycler says, nope, I will not text that. I'm done with Dr. Boyce. You have lost your way, and as such, you are not fit to lead. That's what he said. Go on, Lewis. Talk shit to me, man. That's what I'm talking about. Get the hell off my page, man. If you don't like it here, you can go, brother. Go on and get out of it. Go follow Stacy Dash or something. You might like that. Anyway, I'm playing, man. Or you can stay if you want to. I mean, really, truth be told, Lewis. I mean, just being real with you, dog. If you didn't respect me, you wouldn't be spending your time right here on this page trying to talk to me. If you didn't have some sort of respect, that's the problem you have right now. Is that even though I just pissed you off and you don't like what I said, something about what I said is so true that is really causing you what they call cognitive dissonance. They call that in psychology cognitive dissonance, when somebody says something that just shocks your system so much that your only reaction is to be mad. And I understand that, because I remember I had this really horrible girlfriend one time. She was so mean. I mean, honestly I feel like she was kind of abusive, to be honest with you. I mean, y'all think men can't be abused, but we're emotional too. And I remember she was so mean, but sometimes she would give me really good advice. And I would come to her and I'd be like, okay, here, I want to do this, and this, and this is how I'm going to do it. And she would say, well, that's not the right way to do it. You're going to do it wrong. And I would be so mad, and she would explain to me why I was wrong. And the more she explained to me why I was wrong, the angrier I used to get. I used to get so mad, and I would defend my point of view like incessantly, because I was so committed to what I thought was the truth. I was so connected to the ideas that I put together that it just bothered me that I was going to have to reconstruct all my thinking because of what she just said. But you know what would happen is I would cool off. I would go out for a couple of days, be mad for like a day or two, and then I would reach back and be like, you know what? You're actually right. Let's do it your way. And so that really was a function of, number one, humanity. Being human pretty much means that when people present ideas that you're not comfortable with, like you spent your whole life pretty much being told that you had to vote for the Democrats and that your ancestors died for you to have the right to support Hillary Clinton, and not the. Now remember that our ancestors did not die for us to have our ancestors died for us to have the right to vote, not the obligation to vote. We don't have to vote for anybody. They died for us to have freedom, not for us to be forced into another choice. So let's just be clear about that. So you spent your whole life hearing that your ancestors died for you to have the right to vote for Hillary Clinton. You have been told that if you don't vote for the Democrats and you're putting the Republicans in office, you have been told that if the Republicans get in office, then you're going to die, you're going to get put back in slavery, your life's going to be miserable. So you have all these sort of prepackaged ideas that force you into making a choice that you're never comfortable with. And so when I come along and say, well, actually, you don't have to do what they tell you to do, I think that's a shock to your system. I think there are a lot of black people in Kentucky. They have an old saying that the hit dog always hollers. So the fact that you're hollering, the fact that you're so mad right now really says to me that there's something about this that where you're saying, man, like I want to ignore this guy. I want to write off what he's saying. I want to just, blow it off, but I can't. So instead, I'm going to lash out at him. I'm going to be mad at him. I'm going to reject this information because it bothers me so much. When the truth of the matter is that if you truly felt confident in what you were going to do, you would just say, okay, thanks, Dr. Boyce. I appreciate your point of view, but I'm going to do something different. That's what you would do. There's no hard feelings. It's like if I say everybody should eat strawberry ice cream and you want chocolate, then just eat your chocolate. Don't get mad because I'm eating strawberry. Don't get mad because I said strawberry is better. Anyway, enough of that. Enough of that. But I appreciate what Lewis had to say. I'm glad he told me how much he hates me. Maybe other people are going to hate me too, but it's fine. I'm used to losing friends because I can't, I'm not out here trying to lie to nobody. I'm out here just giving the truth from my perspective. And I don't even know if my truth is universal truth. I'm open to being educated. In fact, you know what? I am actually very interested in hearing from anybody who can explain to me why I should support the Democrats under one condition. Actually, two conditions. One, you cannot say the words Donald Trump or Republicans in your explanation. Don't tell me I should support Hillary because Donald Trump is going to destroy the world and destroy the black community. Don't tell me I should support Hillary because the Republicans are racist and they're going to come and eat the black community and blow our neighborhoods up and kill us all. I don't want to hear all that. So that's one thing. Don't bring up Trump. Don't bring up the Republicans. Number two, don't bring up my history. Don't try to tell me about my history. Don't try to tell me why my ancestors died as Selma and all that. Let me figure that out on my own. I'm going to hear that from other black people. I don't need to hear that from a white person who's using that as an opportunistic way to convince me or to guilt trip me into supporting them because I feel like I have no options. Don't do that. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear you come along and use my history when it's convenient for you, but you won't reference my history when I bring up mass incarceration and why your husband, Hillary Clinton, incarcerated all those black men. You didn't have nothing to say about our history when you were calling black people super predators. You have nothing to say about our history when you're denying us access to opportunities and capital for our businesses and not caring about the black unemployment problem. You don't bring up our history when you're doing all these other things that are not to our benefit, when you're letting our schools fall to pieces because you prioritizing something else. You don't bring up our history when it's convenient for us. You bring up our history when it's convenient for you. And that says to me that you're manipulating me. You're using my pain to your advantage. That's what you're doing. You're using my pain for your political profit. No, I don't want to hear that. So if you can convince me, anybody on here, if you can convince me why I should support Hillary Clinton without bringing up Trump or the Republicans and without telling me that my ancestors died for me to have the obligation to support the Democrats, then we can talk. But most of y'all can't do that. Anybody supporting Hillary can't do that. Somebody mentioned George Bush here. It's funny. Somebody on Twitter is talking about George Bush. He did not set us free, and I agree. George Bush, terrible president, horrible man, all these things. We all agree on that. There's no question about that. But here's the thing. There's a lot of data actually to say that the black community was better off in the Bush presidency than they were in the Obama presidency. My theory on this is that it's one thing if you have an enemy in the White House and you know that person's your enemy. What that does is that pushes you to fight for yourself. That pushes you to represent your own agenda, right? It's another thing when you got an enemy in the White House and you think that they're your friend. When you think that person's fighting on your behalf and they're not actually doing that, that becomes that's the problem, because then you kind of lean back and you think, hey, they got my back, they gonna hook me up, and they ain't doing nothing for you. And I try to tell people that because I have some inside information on that. I sat in some very privileged meetings and discussions that involved manipulating the black community to get them to support the Obama administration. I've talked to people from the White House on multiple occasions and sat there and scolded them and said, y'all ain't doing nothing for black people, man. What are you doing? Like, what fool do you think I am? Like, you're calling me, you're not even on any way trying to make this into a negotiation. You're not trying to negotiate your relationship with the black community. You're trying to manipulate black people into giving you what you want without offering anything substantive in return. I don't buy that. When they put the last example out the way here, then I have to be done on this. When they put Elena Kagan in the White House, Elena Kagan on the Supreme Court Justice, they reached out to black people like me and people like Roland Martin and other so-called influencers to get us to support Elena Kagan. Their reasons for supporting this woman were so stupid and flimsy that they were pretty much relying on black political immaturity to convince black people to support this. I said, okay, your explanations for why black people should support this woman are the kind of things you might be able to get by on a 7-year-old, but they're not going to get by critical thinking people. And in fact, there were some black law professors, again, intelligent black people who care about the black community, really are, who really care, who are really using their intellect to help black people. They are, in my opinion, they should be the guardians for the community, because you got some games being played that are at a level that you can't even see. Just like how scientists will poison your water, and you need scientists who care, who have courage to actually go and test the water and tell you that it's killing you. Like most people, regular people like me, we don't know that the water might be killing us. We need scientists and smart people who serve as guardians for the community, who are going to defend the community. So you have some black law professors who studied this white woman's hiring record, and they pointed out the fact that this woman, in all the years that she was the dean at Harvard Law School, hired 32 people, and not one single one of those people was African American. Not one was Native American. Not one was Latino. 30 out of 32 of the people that she hired were white males. White men. So I said, you're trying to tell me that I need to tell the black community they need to support a woman who has hired 0% black people. I mean, literally, her hiring record could not have been worse if she were a member of the Ku Klux Klan. You're telling me you think black people are so stupid that you want me to tell them to support this woman who would never hire them in a million years, who doesn't give a shit about getting them jobs. You're telling me that you want me to go out here and use whatever credibility I have to tell black people to support this person, even though there's nothing there to say that she has in any way shown any sort of support for the black community. It was literally about the dumbest conversation that you could ever have. And I honestly believe, and I'm going to tell you the truth, I believe that they felt that because they have such little respect for your intellect, they felt like, okay, this is a conversation we can have with black people, but no other group is going to fall for this dumb shit. We can't get by. We ain't gonna get, this ain't going to get by the Jews. This ain't going to get by the Latino community. This ain't going to get by the gay community. They going to do the homework. But we might be able to pull this off on the niggas. That literally was my thinking, and that was literally why I told them, don't call me no more. Don't lose my number. Do not call me. I'm not your guy. I don't want to be a part of any of this, because this is a conspiracy. This is a fix. This is you're screwing black people, and you expect me to go along with it. I'm not going to do it. Go find a black person who's desperate for money, or somehow gets his rocks off by standing next to the president. I'm not that guy. So anyway, I'm not pretending to be perfectly righteous or anything like that. I'm just human. I mean, any normal human being should understand exactly what I'm talking about here. You ain't got to be a superhero to understand that this is nonsense. And basically, politics, I go back to the word reciprocity. Please keep that in mind when you're thinking about who you want to support. If they ain't reciprocating for you, if they're not down for you, if they don't have your back at the very same level they expect you to have their back, then they're not people who've earned your vote, nor do they deserve your vote. And that's my final opinion on that. All right, last point before I get on out of here. We do start a Black Wealth Bootcamp in about a week. So you can join at theblackwwealthbootcamp.com. That's theblackwwealthbootcamp.com. That's the class I teach based on the 23 years I spent teaching college students. I've been teaching college students at University of Kentucky, Indiana University, the Ohio State University, Syracuse University, and the University of Rochester. Instead of going to college and spending a ton of money, tens of thousands of dollars the way people do, we charge less than $300 for a class that literally is guaranteed to be better than any class you've ever taken in your life. Also, if you want to get 20% off the cost of tuition, use this discount code. The discount code is the word no slave, one word. So if you type in no slave, one word, and when they ask you to redeem your coupon, you can get $75 off. So not only do we give you an extremely low price, but there's actually a discount. People love it. We have thousands of alumni. I think you're going to love it. Well, our goal with the Black Business School was to create the ultimate HBCU, an HBCU without $100,000 in student loans, an HBCU that's actually where every professor that you have is actually black. A lot of HBCUs have departments that have been taken over by people who are not black. Also, we don't have the bureaucracy, and also we don't teach you how to go get a job. We teach you how to create a job. We don't teach you how to get on somebody else's ship. We teach you how to build the ship and drive the ship and to control the ship. That's what black people need to do. We need to control, we need to build, we need to own. Forget all this stuff about getting jobs and all this other stuff. And I want you to carry this message everywhere, everywhere. I'm not talking to a student. When I teach you, I'm not teaching a student, I'm teaching a teacher. And then you teach other teachers, and we teach everybody, and in a generation, it'll be game over. That's the takeover. We're not trying to catch up with white people. We're not trying to catch up with nobody. We're not trying to close the gap. We're trying to create a new gap where we're the ones on top and we're not behind, because we are so determined. We are so capable. We are the descendants of the survivors of the Middle Passage, which pretty much means we cannot be stopped. We cannot be eliminated. They can come kill me, but they can't kill all of this. They can't kill the movement. They can't kill everything that we're doing. So if you're interested in checking out the Black Wealth Bootcamp, it's right there for you. Please feel free to check it out. Also, Again, mention our sponsor, greatblackspeakers.com. And just for the sake of full disclosure, that company, my brother is the CEO of that company. I want to make sure y'all know that. But it's awesome. It's the biggest black-owned speakers bureau in the country. If you're interested in booking a speaker or becoming a speaker, check out greatblackspeakers.com. And that's it. I'm about to get on out of here, guys. I think I'm going to go take a nap. Whenever I do these podcasts, I actually get so riled up that literally it drains me. So I go in there and I snore for about 2 hours, and then I get up and I do it all over again. But I ain't going to stop. You're going to see, as long as I get to live. If I live to be as old as Farrakhan, then y'all gonna have about 40 years of this, because I see the opening, I see the opportunity. It's not gonna come through politics. It's gonna come through us building wealth and building institutions. Then the politics will follow. If you got wealth and you have a core of wealth, you can control the political systems in your community. This country is run by money, so you must understand money. When you put your children into a country that is controlled by money and they don't understand money, that's like putting them in the NBA when they never ever went to basketball practice. Do not do that to your kids. You prepare them with wealth. You prepare them with education. You educate your own children. That's how you win this game. All right, everybody. I'm about to get out of here, guys. And I love you so much, and I appreciate all of you so much for chiming in and doing this thing with me. And good luck with the election. And I won't knock you if you vote for somebody I don't agree with. It's okay. This is the free thought zone. This is not the demagogue zone. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. So I love you guys. Take care. Have a great day. Talk to you.